After the setback at the International Court of Justice, where Israel faces serious charges of genocide, Israelis are up in arms, calling for the sacking of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. In the latest, scuffles have begun to break out between Israeli police and protesters. Major anti-government protests have begun to spark in Tel Aviv. Now, the demonstration included a march towards Israel's Ministry of Defense. Protesters are now even calling for fresh elections, even though Netanyahu still has close to 2 years left in his term. Now, demonstrators are also criticizing efforts to bring home the hostages. The hostages are still held by Hamas amid the ongoing war. Israeli security forces, including the mounted police, tried to block some of the crowd on their route. Some of the protesters were also detained. A separate rally was held outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence. Now, Netanyahu had earlier given a speech pushing back against the ruling of the International Court of Justice. The ruling was against the loss of civilian life and destruction in the Gaza offensive. Several prominent citizens, including the national security officials, have sent a letter to Israel's president and Speaker of Parliament. The prominent citizens are demanding that Netanyahu should be removed from office, claiming that the Prime Minister is an existential threat to Israel. Netanyahu is being accused of being unfit of holding the office of the Prime Minister of Israel. The list of signatories includes 3 eminent Nobel Prize winners. But Prime Minister Netanyahu strongly reacted to the situation and said that Israel would go to the fullest extent to protect itself from Gaza.
בשבוע הקשה הזה, שבו איבדנו לוחמים גיבורים.
In this difficult week in which we lost heroic fighters, I say again to you, the citizens of Israel, that our commitment is to fulfill their will and achieve all the goals of this war, to eliminate Hamas, to ensure the return of all hostages, and to ensure that Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel.
Netanyahu also hit out at Qatar for allegedly hosting the leaders of Hamas.
As for Qatar, I do not go back on a single word I said. I will not give up even one path of putting pressure on Hamas or anyone who can put pressure on Hamas to return our abductees. Qatar hosts the leaders of Hamas. It also finances Hamas.
More than 100 Israeli hostages are still believed to be in Hamas detention. The hostages were taken by Hamas in the surprise attack that was executed on the 7th of October.